Last spring, I had an opportunity to be in a meeting with a member of the Hopi Delegation. And I was really moved when he said that his people have been walking the earth since 1948 to tell the message from this house of peace. So it's with great honor, humility, we welcome the Hopi Delegation. Martin Gashweseoma, the traditional spiritual elder, Thomas Banyacya, Emery, Holmes, and Manuel, Huichol.
I will ask about a few silent prayer in the Hopi language. First, I just want to thank you for coming here this evening to me as one of the interpreters since 1948. The fulfillment of our ancestors and leaders in 1948, 89, 100 years old, who had firm belief that someday we as human beings, children as mothers, will come together like this. And that said, they said that there'd be a house of Mi-kmaq standing on eastern land someday. That means foreign government come on our land, put our house on our land, talk about human rights, equality, and justice, but has never opened the door to the native people in this land. So they told us to knock on doors 4 times we have to. That's the final number. So last December, I knocked on the door. And I was very happy that members of the United Nations and other individuals, organizations, and help us to bring this to fulfillment. So I'm very happy to be here to see it. I'm very happy to see you people who are here today have been chosen by Great Spirit to bring this message to the brothers and sisters from across the country and who have means to correct, change, and stop this wrongdoing we're talking about today so that this will not happen in the future, but begin to purify our land for our children that come after us. And I'm very happy that Gashweseoma, who was a firekeeper and member of that Mi-kmaq, who was a peaceful man, nonviolent man, and he wanted to be Hopi. He wants to speak his language. He wants to live like Hopi way, teach his own children Hopi way. And his son was keeper of stone tablet that he had. And now Gashweseoma is a custodian of that sacred stone tablets, but it is kept in the Fire Clan Society. And I'm very happy that others were here, member of the Katina Society, and I'm very happy that it would be hard to find somebody to speak at the United Nations or House of Mi-kmaq when time comes. And I'm very happy that these men were willing to come and willing to volunteer to bring this message, and I will only interpret the message, but I will have something to say tomorrow. Thank you very much.
hing sa itang matsim na yan. I Martin pang amum apang.
Each one will have a brief statement, but Gashweseoma will have a special message, and the others will have something to say also.
Bayanja yepi Thomas itungni bayame bangka bayin majo Martin Gashweseoma yanu. Nakita manja Hopi kinga kaya ita yep umumi anja it nabotit hisa ngas ya maasik na yan.
And the interpreter mentioned our name here, and of course, white people call me Martin Gashweseoma. And we are here today to bring some of our known prophecies that Hopi knew about. And we came from Hopi land to bring this message to you in this assembly today.
Ita manca bang Hopi kinga kaya ita yan umumi ngas ahi sabat ita nabote mata tabak. It mumine kat aw itam yep temala evaya. Howita.
We will give you a few of our prophecies that's known so that when you hear them, we may begin to start working for the betterment of all human beings on this earth in the future.
Ita manca yep ita nabote yan kya kyang anja nat yang at kya khaka itam peo makap sila lawa. Yep haki itewa kasi himu itakat amam yan ka. Putih ita itam ayawa kya kyang anja pang peo enang peo nenga. Nawotit ni kyang nenga kia kat pepek pahat po anja I ko kyang so ati anja it nesio kat ne kat kaka it put anja le sila pep po anja I mait yanda kat au sinom na kusta kat pep put malalo pet pas wu pa nenungat pamamoti was kam. Poi anja Hopi naka pantungun ita naka pahat po pamnuteng tewat tahun naksa. Pepo pamit pasus hi sabaya tewat kusa. Pamjaya anja ye payavo engam hintewat mominekat awewaka. Pa kakyana wakana.
We came somewhere we refer to underworld, where life was like this, but life becomes so corrupt, greedy, and everything went wrong, turned away from the law of Great Spirit. So we, who remember some of these things, ask someone for permission to come to this new land and life. We know there was someone here. So after his receiving his permission, we came. And we made an oath that we will live simple way that he has. And when we came, Great Spirit met us. And then we met a lady referred to as Spider Woman. And she gave us instructions and food and many things that we need to know in this new world. And of course, the people want Great Spirit to be a leader, but he refused. But he chose the leaders that the group will appoint, and then they will be given more instructions as to how to live on this earth, this land, this Mother Earth, they call it, so that this world will never be destroyed.
ไปประสานกันคือประมาณอะไรตอนนั้นนั่นนี่บ่
Put a manat ka enang. Put ka put ang nan mo siya.
ราคาอามันโอ้ยอีกไปปังเขาสุด
Ka pang ka na.
The corn, different size of corn is placed before the leaders to carry wherever they go as their food. And the first one pick up the longest ear of corn, and then at the last, the small corn, and the Hopi received that, and that was a real corn. The rest of corn were sort of imitation. So whoever picked that up, that will be their main food wherever they go. But Hopi received the real corn, just very small corn.
No ovi an ita nat yang atyak au makap sito taka pam yep hin katek pan amam yep yan ka nok pu an sa ima mumwit pa nahu wala pa pan amam yep yes naka ta
Instruction was given to the leaders that was appointed by a group that were there, and they all agreed that they will live a simple way. The Great Spirit was living, and they're willing to adhere to his instructions.
Wa an sa pama pe yan nang akya yang pe pam ko kyang so ti pam an sa pe not one it pe ayaw to nak pe pama pe an sa na kalaya pe yep itu wakasit ang akakami kuk to tan ka ang owat pi ang na to la pi pente wesen pe ki ko ki pi hongin wes kya kyang pam haka pio pa kasakutin yakat bangput pio hongin use putak tak hakam ni yan hin hi mo nakusin takat ak not yet put him out songka puprin.
They were given instructions as to how to take care of this land and life. And they were to go to different directions and to build their homes on the rocky mesas and build out of native stone so that they will last for a long time. And they must adhere to the basic instructions as to what the Great Spirit gave them on a spiritual level. But he knows that there may be some will turn away from later, and they may will have to correct them later. And they built these houses in different directions. They built their homes and settled down, and then set up their own spiritual foundations.
Anca pamanat anca kao ekyak pampamay pep itamoy nak ma sa yan ma yan tingwan to ta anca but not kao ekyak pep pam anca wainum kyang anca put to kyam si kusakam pos na ne ka po pamang put ahoy hep to kyang by Manuel, by Pep Hak Aklapir, word Hakita. Knock put Pamoe Pangs or put turbing tuck by a pumpet tower. Near Kaobi pumpet pep, turbing tuck by a cow ahoy tabi. pa put au yan chang cotton ne ka ne ka ovi put au pang ka pa Christian pam hin takat yet e hak au pit ne ka amam yet tu ka set et ne nok pa angam hi tak au amam pe ne ka pa an pi si bat ko te ta ka yana la ba.
When they came into the area where the Hopi people are now located, they knew that there was a great spirit. We call him Master in our language, moving around here and there, and he met them there. And so there were some other being there that knew that he had the power and authority to do many things, and as you follow his footsteps, the Great Spirit has lost some flour, violent flour, that he had in his hand and dropped them. And then horned toad came, picked it up. When he asked him for flour to return to him, he said, "No, I'll just keep it. Because later time other people might do something to you and cause you trouble. And as long as I have this flour, I will help you. And later time, as I have the headdress that made from very strong, like a metal or iron, that cap, that I will be the one to help you in later time."
No pep pan paman chao pep hakam ak hakam ki ta ka ak ng ao e ki kya kyang te bing la lo pama pep hakam ki ta kat nok pe amame pang ka hakam sip orai ve ya ki ta nok pe pama awu wa yak kuspan pep hurun.
The people asked Great Spirit Master, when they faced him, they asked him where he lives. And he said, "I live over here, close by, called Oraibi," and he called it Sip Oraibi. Then to the Hopi people who consider many of these statements, meanings, consider that that rock was made so permanently, like a metal or iron that melt together and become a very, very strong rock point, that's where he lives, Sip Oraibi.
Nok pe pemoweb anja amam yes kya kyang pe anja better pinana hoy pama nan ko sa pa yup nan ne ka pe pama au so ba man ha pina nok pam obi na te pame anja amame tenat yalte.
As we say, they have moved out in 4 directions with his instructions. The knowledge the Great Spirit has is how to take care of this land and life wherever they go. And then some of them went to 4 directions, but they're coming back to that area looking for the real leaders who knows this and understand this. And so they want to be with them. So they're all coming back into an area called Oraibi.
Puma put amam yes kya kyang anta tubing tota pa song kapam amame mongwin nakat nok pu pam pa kanak pu piu asveti kat e piu tubing tota kya kyang pu piu song katis kwa yang pe pa sat pu pas amame pang ka
The leaders came to Great Spirit, and of course, they asked him to be a leader, but he knew within the heart of people there that some of them are not going to follow the instructions. Some are going to do something that's not in line with his laws or rules, spiritual ways, and they might cause trouble in later times. So he said, I will not be a leader, but you will be a leader for your people, and I will instruct you how to take care of this land for me.
Nami lava to tek petis kwat nyakat epe pai pa me au pang ka pa kanak hakai pai nap ye hinna nak ne pan put au nangam yaki wisn.
So each nation leaders were appointed, and they were to take care of these people wherever they go, follow the instructions, and that they may be able to follow very closely the instructions was given to them, or they might be doing something else. So he gave them a choice which way to go, whether to follow him or do something else.
Po anja poma pete au kiu takamai tubing long hin angkak timai sami wiskat. Perkus pai pan labai to tingu pai pemai hi ta hi mai hin chak pi wi kiyak yok wang pemai pa sat pai anja panwat labai yang kamai pa autate la lai lao.
Many people came back to the Hopi area looking for the real leaders who have this knowledge and the power, and they would ask them before they admit them into the pueblos or village, what kind of religion are you bringing here? And they will have to tell him what it is that they're bringing. And sometimes they have to be tested out to perform ceremonies. And the big gentle rain came, then he knew that they are sincere and they will bring a good life to the people there, so they let him come in. Those that are boastful and will not put aside their destructive things, they were sent off to other place. They're not admitted into the village.
Pemai obi ancayan ukiu bewat angkak hinwis kamai pemai pahat pemai nami yai bantoin pemai pep anca au panwat tup siwa pemai pep put anca amam pan yengwe pai ka yabo it hintakat songka kau an totin ka obi.
So many good people like we refer to as a common or grassroots people, came into that village. If they've admitted in there, they will help whichever way to keep that life and clean and beautiful and lasting. And because it's the Great Spirits that's giving them instructions, and they are to live a long time.
Nok po obi ma put amam yes kya kyang an chaput it hin katsit nekat tiskwat angam au we mit put hi ta hin chak wis nekay put tenat yaw bayak ne ka po ma put na mi pas hin ta nekat yakuya pa mi yep tewa katsit himui ta ka po mo
So many spiritual instruction was given to each group that came so that they will know what they need to do, and so that they can take care of this land and life in a proper way, so that there be no destruction to this things on this land, the Mother Earth, and so it will be a lasting thing that this spiritual instructions was given to them for that reason.
Pagkriyan hin kaak lomahin tininik pepu pai pamnap mo ti makyang nöteng.
Then if life become corrupted again, like at other places, and turn away from their spiritual instructions and warnings and prophecies that was given them, and create problem for themselves and others, then it may be that the Great Spirit will have to step in, because as he said, he gave them all this knowledge, prophecy and warnings and instructions, spiritual things. You live this life so they have a long, good life. But if they turn away from it, then he says, I'm the first to give you all this knowledge, prophecy, and warnings. If you live a good life, and later I will come back. But if you make a mistake or make trouble or mess up this life, then I will have to come back at the other end and help purify, clean up this mess in a later time to help you make life beautiful, clean again.
Nokpo habian ja pama hakim ep amum yes kam anja pai panuska kyang pai as himwe yes ka lomayes lolmat kachit angya so himwe se an aanewa.
So they live a long time as they follow the spiritual instructions. They set up their sacred areas, and every day they go out to do what they can to provide food for their families, and they live a long, good life there.
Anja puma amam pancha kyang pai anja it navotit anja ang pai na tetekai na.
So in their sacred areas, we call them kivas in sacred centers, they teach each other and younger generations about all these spiritual instructions, warnings, prophecies, and they go through a ceremony, so they experience something that if they do things right, something happens to them. But if they do something right, things will be good. And that is what they are carrying on in Hopi area.
Ne ka put pantakat anja itamwe te ka nayak pa anja yep nat pio hak amang pio pitan kyang pam kolsat pio toko itaka pio pitan.
While they were there, they knew the prophecies that someday some other people come that will have a lighter complexion. We call to a white complected person that will be coming to them someday.
Ne kyang pam tuhisan kat yan enang itam nabot ne yung nakowi anta pam hak yep it tes kwat au pito kyang pai anta itayep pi nabas kachit anta yes pai kahi ta ovinat pam makap titikyang kahi tak itam nahu wayak payang anja hi ta yahan wakyang ang hi ta anja yoikutima panja ita au kya ta yung aput ep tuhis himut hi ta yoikuk.
This white brother who came is a very intelligent person, and he can invent many things. He was able to write things, and he will bring many things that's supposed to be a benefit to the Hopi and many native people in this land. And if they misuse that again in later time, that those are the things that may create trouble for us. And so they know these prophecies from way back, and it seems now that we are facing those problems here today when our white brother came.
Nok po vi anja yep yang kyang put pan hi ta nanang wat anja pan ta ka pa hat pu anja yep itamwe lelekin ti ba kyang amokin pit itamame e chi kyang pa hat pu yang anja hi ta pa ka kyap chi kyang anja ang yoi ko ti ma pe hut Sivaton tate mai tamai per nat yang pi over pe tinakat pi enang tetap totak ovitam put pandat enang naboti yung apurut.
So a white brother being an inventor, he would bring many things that's supposed to be helpful, but he would misuse that. Right now we see many machinery used for destructive purposes, and it may also a time when he will take mineral resources and turn it into more destructive ways and purposes. And that is going against the law of Great Spirit, law of nature. And then he will try to grab all the mineral resource or land from the native people with the power that he has built. And it may be that he will create more problem for all the living beings on this earth by doing it. And then he may also invent a carriage that we put by with animal first and later run by itself, and then he will have power to create what he called road in the sky. That means airplane, where people will be traveling. And all those things were known, that when something that they know happened, then we know we are into a critical moment that we have to do something else to survive.
No ove kri yep yanta ka anja so nakusin tinak put anja enang itamwe nawot ni yang ema momoyam ta tak te yusiam nau kian nok anja pam panta pa pu momoyam pa kanahi ta yang ayang ka yu pa ka anja momoyam yusit nap himo yang nok pu pe hakami pu pa mo yusiam ta tak te nau kia kyang pu pa tok koi pa yep sinot pu pa pas sok ma tak ni ng pa kahi kya yung pa.
The life we are going to face is very similar to the last stages in the last world. Everything went without spiritual ways, and they misused the power. And as someone mentioned here from Six Nations, a woman, that it's known to the Hopi that women be changed into like men, and the woman's going to either dress like men, and they will also do something what men are doing, and eventually some of them just going to strip almost naked. Women, we're running around here, and we're getting into this period that many problems are going to be created there. And these are something known, many other things that's known to the Hopi. It's happening today.
Nokovian sa yan kyang itamay yan tiskap katsitak ihi meso so koyanis tinapi. Tepu anca itam kas hin yep ayo hin nangak ni ka put pikaaw wawayan. Nan po it yep yan takat anca ita nabuti us ka po yep ak hakpil panap sakit anja wanap sinak pang sa itampat it yan ita labay tanga totak pep pumasan put aw hinuwayan pa.
We know that life will be so terrible because so many new inventions and new gadgets coming into the people, Hopi and other native people in this land, seemingly good, but they're turning off their spiritual ways. Their moral principles are being neglected, and they're just going out for a good time and going, actually, Koyanis means like a crazy life. They don't know why you're doing this and that. And we're not listen to anyone anymore. But they said there'd be a house of Mi-kmaq standing on this land someday, where leaders who know and understand and believe some of the spiritual things might be here, that we have to bring it here to give them a chance to correct, change, and stop these things so that this will not go on forever.
Pagkaran sayap itam kahak it yan takat laway ita laway nam tek nanak paya hak yepak pierson put kater kaitan nan po yep put ita laway awu wakyang yep sen pas anja kasit tenat yauta Imaya ba hakim mumut anja hi taang as au hin totini kyang pa itam sun ak itam kana ekina ka hakam hi ta suan temalai ta pe.
We know that we are going to run into all these problems that's created by human beings or misusing their power that they invented and turn away from their spiritual ways, that when we bring it to this body in the house of Mi-kmaq, there should be some leaders here understand this, really believe in their spiritual ways, really trying to live a good life and bring about better life for their own nations, people that they represent, and that maybe we can get together and look at what we're doing with these new inventions that you hear, instead of running around crazy like. And the Hopi believe that that is what going to create this unity, argument, and fighting and quarreling. And once we come together on this and understand the spiritual things, I'm sure, he said, that they will be able to bring about good life for all nations and ever live things on this earth.
Nok ovi anjay tayep it kachit au wuwan tota. Naboti pang ka anjay yep itam yan nakus kachit it pas kachit nekat sakwito tak po yep anjay itam ituwa kachit kus yan ichiwute po itam hi takwat itam happy son ka kanabot nan nok ovi anjay ang paachikyo tayaya takapam yoyo kapi ang pabam hi mo wukote bi payang anja peo itamo mi ma takintak pam itamo as awin tanakat yan ita naboti yang.
Most all the nations, all the people have different languages that live around this earth and living on this land, or Mother Earth. If we continue to misuse the power, turn away from our spiritual ways, then this mother, a living being, will shake us up. Big, greater earthquake going to hit us. She's warning us that we are not following the instructions. Great wind, destructive, cyclones, flooding different areas. And someplace it will not rain and hailstorms, destructive. All these things, nature is going to be warning us, but we don't seem to understand, and we don't listen, and we don't want to correct ourselves. We continue to do things that are creating these problems.
No obianza kus imaye pakit yanda kao temal totanak I pasu jamat yakawi man itam habiye po isus no teng sus obiak ne ka teu ka sit itam yan yang ka ita hakami pa buat kan ya.
So if the people in this house of Micah and other nations that hear us do not correct, change, and stop these things, then we're going to face much greater problems, greater destruction by nature, and it's going to be very hard to help one another when nature and other things start to warn us very strongly.
No ita habi put pantakat epia. Ne kawi ita mga miyemo yep sok may angam kakan kus yep ima it yan takat ita imoy ao ita labay yan mata tibak put ka ao tamal tatak pantan habi tamoy habi yep it nat hinyukon ka nat makapsi ita pa nat itamoy as awin tak ita kananabot ya yep itam su sa matewat hi takaanjat yan na kay pan itayep kasit out malayang.
The reason we are now coming to this house of Micah to bring this message because our forefathers told us that we must bring this message wherever we may be able to get to, and this government was set up on our land, like the Canadian government, United States government, United Nations, and all talking about good life, human rights, equality, and justice. And I think that we are now finally come to this house of Micah. It's our last attempt to bring corrections by this group here. And if they don't, then we are going to face terrible destruction by nature or warnings. We hope to save as many people as possible by bringing this message to this house of Micah.
Nok obian sayep it yan takat itam pero yan tanga totak iyep itam nanabot naka pan wuyok yo makyang itam hapinat hinyukenak itam purkus yep kahak it yan takat au temala itaninok po itam hapi songka I tewa kasi hapi nam te kene nales pe po hapi itam haka katal po ba kaya ita yung.
It is known many prophecies to the Hopi that one of them that today we bring this message to this body who have a power, authority, who have written documents to correct changes, things that are creating this on this land of the native people. Then, if everyone turned away from that spiritual instructions, no one correct them, then this land or Mother Earth would turn over 4 times and put us who are surviving back down, way down under the earth, where we start from in darkness, trying to leave again after that.
Nok obian takat itamao tenat yal tote ak hamima sinom it yan takat na kyawin tote kasi kya na it yan takat ao sun temal totak itam yep yes sechep kasit.
So I'm asking all of you, the representative of House of Micah, different organizations, and our brothers and sisters from 4 directions that are here, that know this, understand this. And if you do not change your ways and go back to the spiritual ways and really take care of this Mother Earth, we're all going to suffer. There's no way we can help each other after this world problem going to be so terrible that nature will not listen to anyone. It's just going to shake us up hard, and we cannot really help each other after that.
No, ovi yan kyang na thapi pas yomo itamam tis pas uruhun itam yep as poatewe sino yep ngas as ayo hi sa hakam sen pemayo nengak nakat ovi tayang it amami lavai Pero tangatota. Nok ovi tam it au suan itam yang au senana me sen hin lavai ak itayet it au songka kaya kuya yang it pes kwanet ak enangan. Pam petak sa yep pa kapas pet hi ta ak na kayo ak iyep as hin puwaltin. Pagkat itama it yan takat kaaw hak hinchak nenak po habi na kayo paso sabik toy kawa nakakan. Pas pan itama yep himo pa asat hin yuk nakapam habi pas no selawayon.
We know the prophecy that there are terrible things that we're facing if we do not correct these problems that's going on here today. The mineral resources are being ripped off from native people's land, some places without permission. A lot of the native people are landless, homeless, without help in this place they call home, landless in their own country for some reason. If no one corrects these things, and if we're going to use the power that developed military machinery, army, destructive things, atom bomb, missiles. Those are highly developed for money, power, good time. If we don't stop it, we're going to have a terrible war coming. We already have gone through the First, Second World War, and it may be Third World or Fourth World come, and there'll be nothing left because the power is going to be so great that one of those bomb or whatever they develop will drop on this land. There will be nothing left on this earth. This, we do not like to see it happen. So that's why we came here to tell you to do something as soon as possible to correct these things.
Now, ovita yep it yan takat. Kus ovi yep yan taka ausean yakil tininak. Paita songkayesn. Pa kapas itam yep nanay wakya kyang lavait piskwanit ak iawsongka kayakil tinakat. Yan tatap lalo ay mawawayam nak ovitam it yan takat umumi kusibaya lavaita.
Our elders have a firm belief that as human beings, as brothers and sisters, coming together like this, instead of fighting, using this machinery, destroying one another every day, we see it today, we should put that aside and talk to each other like this. Share the spiritual knowledge that we have from 4 directions. And maybe out of it, we are going to bring back good, balanced life for younger generation that's coming after us, and maybe for many of us here, where we'll have a long, good life. And I'm very happy that we are able to bring this message to this body.
By our time up. Before the people came over to this world, the new world, we were sick. They were sick. just as today we are sick from all this corruption. Now we are seeking a way to solve our present situation. This is the last world. We are not going anywhere from here if we destroy this land. The highest world, which is like heaven, we will be given no other chance. So let us consider this matter seriously so that this world is not destroyed, so that we can continue to live and save this land and life for the generations to come. Thank you.
I just want to tell you, for some reason, members of this House of Mi-kmaq have put those circles up there representing 4 from east, west, south, and north. From both directions you look at it. I think this message is right here. All the nations are here. 4 direction people here. And I think it's time that you think about the future that they are talking about, we are talking about, and then we hope that we can save this Mother Earth, the earth that we're still holding on for all people. This Mother Earth will not be destroyed. It's crying to us right now. Let's stop and turn away all these destructive things and do like what white people put on a rock across the building here. Put all these instrument, destructive things to plowshares and study war no more. Thank you very much.